Hi, my name is Chiara Luzzana. I'm a sound designer and soundtracks composer, mainly for brand advertising and cinema. My approach to sound and composition is a bit particular. I was born as a musician. I studied clarinet, then guitar, and then, of course, piano. And then I became an audio engineer, but at some point I decided to break the rules, try to make my soundtracks only with the pure sound of everyday life. In my process, I don't use musical instrument because I think that lives can play the best note, and for that reason the transformation of noise into music is something primary in my workflow. I come from different DAW, from Pro Tools to Logic to Cubase and then Ableton, but then I tried Studio One and I found its completeness and at the same time ease of use my perfect partner for my sound project. I created an unusual project for PRESONUS, almost a provocation, deciding to turn off all the PRESONUS audio equipment and make them alive just only with their pure noise. So I tried to catch every single nuance of sound from each individual audio gear. I give you some examples, always keeping in mind that the sound has remained pure without changing its primary character. I love creating all my rhythm parts with Impact XT because it allows me a unique versatility, also intended as volume and FX routing, but also helps me in the mental clarity of sound selection. The song starts with a clear message of its own: the monitor, speaker, off, switch. This sound starts the beat. The main kick was achieved by delicately touching different, almost tiny points of the Iris E44 mid-woofer. The snare drum is given by the opening of the headband of the PRESONUS headphones, and again with regard to the headphones, by touching the pavilion, making it bounce. The sounds obtained was similar to a hi-hat, which I then inserted into a arpeggiator. The shaker is given by rubbing the Atom SQ pitch bend, and again thanks to the Atom SQ I was able to record these sounds, useful for some accent in the soundtrack. So I created a piece of music that today I would like to show you more in details, and I'm really excited for this. In general, my sessions in Studio One are very minimal because I'm sure that when a sound is beautiful and it sounds great, you don't need too much manipulation. It has to remain pure. That's my way to treat the sounds, and that's my dogma. Actually, for me, the important thing is to already have some recordings, that in some way they correspond to a notes, in order to have just a little of post-production or editing during my soundtracks composition. I come from the sampling school, when you cut the tape and then you glue it together with the next part. So from John Cage till the hip-hop production with my first Akai 950. So for me, the creative process, it's very much related to sampling. Let me show you my session. It is actually my first session of the creation of the sound project for PRESONUS, even before the mixing and mastering phase that I'm gonna do it in Studio One as well. So my favorite instrument in Studio One is absolutely Sample One XT, with which I can practically do an entire production without needing anything else. It is precise in the editing, and it has inside everything I need to deal with the sampled sound. Sometimes I need to use tuner to understand the dominant tone more precisely, so that I can recreate a melody aware of its primary roots. For this sound project and many others, I only use the native Studio One plugins. For example, the analog delay is something that really returns the warmth to the sound. It makes it rich, it makes it real, a touch of analog, even if we are in the full digital spectrum. I love the precision of the EQ2, the Studio One's equalizer, because it is really surgical in its frequency control, and it allows me a lot of flexibility, and very often I don't even need to pass the recorded sample into a denoiser, because I just need to cut some unwanted or low frequencies and it sounds amazing. It's also super nice because you can see the piano roll under the equalizer control curve. It's something it's really fun, it's really amazing. So you know exactly where you are, what you do, in a really intuitive way. Everything, it's intuitive in Studio One. And I believe that the strength of Studio One is just that. Not only, but this is a great point. If you are used to use production software, you can really do anything supremely with Studio One. But if you are a beginner, and you can get started easily and fall in love with this DAW for its ease of use and its incredible potential. If you have seen the video that I made for PRESONUS and you have to see it, please. I played the surface of the Quantum 2626 interface and then manipulate its sounds with some effect. So, the pedal board, I'm talking about the pedal board, it's insane. It's absolutely insane, of course, in the right way. I mean, it is completely a white canvas ready to be colored. You can mix the various pedals and get a different sound every time only with a single click. However, this is another beautiful thing. So you have all instances of Sample One XT in one window, and this makes your production phase much cleaner. I mean, look at this. Everything is organized in such a way, in such a beautiful way, as to have a single minimal window without having to open and close infinite tabs and get lost in confusion. And I know you, like me, when I start a production, it's really a risk to get lost in confusion. With Studio One, that it's almost impossible. So for me, this is really essential. When I sit down and create, I must have no distraction, both physical and visual. Anyway, we were talking about the sound of the Quantum 2626, so here it is without the effects. And this is with a sprinkling of pedal board. And then the analog delay again, which makes everything come alive. I'm in love with Ampere because it can transform a sound into something like an electric guitar, and it obviously depends on the parameters that you are gonna use, but let me show you how a rubber band, it can become something different. And I'm talking about rubber band because you have seen the video. This is the sound I sampled from some bands placed on the faders of the PRESONUS Fader Port 16. By pulling the bands to various positions, I was able to record various tones. Then I imported the sound into my beloved Sample 1 XT, put it in reverse, set the region loop, and started having fun with Ampere. So this is the sound before, and this is the sound after. I believe that for those who create music, it is essential to have a trusted companion as a DAW, which does not require a complicated and incomprehensible approach, but a free creative flow without too many cumbersome processes to learn. For sure, I've learned all these processes in my previous audio engineer background, but now I got rid of it. I'm sorry, I got rid of it. Because I love the speed, I love the intuitiveness, and the quality of sound that Studio One offers me. You know, it's like a relationship. When everything is simple, is clear, is perfect, we are gonna love each other forever. Or we hope so. So trust me, have a look to Studio One because you're probably gonna fall in love in just 1 second. I am Chiara Luzzana, and I love to create music from the pure noise that I can find from everyday life. I'm a sound designer and soundtracks composer, and I'd like to wish you a wonderful life full of brilliant sounds.